Yo, it's your main man here, double to that H, and here we have another nice little request. So this request comes from Patreon member, top tier Patreon member, David K. So this is about the 50 plus 1 rule. Now, before we really get a dive into this, what is the 50 plus 1 rule? Now, this is a rule that is done within German clubs in the Bundesliga. What it means is, under no circumstance, at least 50% of the club must be owned by its supporters. So this means that an exterior investor from outside cannot have more than a 50% ownership of the club. Now, before 1998, 100% was fully owned by the club and the supporters before 1998. But after 1998, it then changed where it now got shrunk down to 50%. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, no, this isn't done in any other country. Only in the Bundesliga does this happen. And the philosophy behind this are that people in Germany, they want the fans to own the club. They want the fans to have a say. And the Bundesliga doesn't want what is happening in the Premier League specifically to happen in the German Bundesliga. But again, with everything, there are two sides of the coin. Because again, to play devil's advocate, to play the other side of the coin, because again, there's been a recent vote, and I think it was Bayern Munich and another club voted against the 50 plus 1 rule, but every other club said, no, we want to keep it. But the argument against it is that football is changing. Football is changing, and if you want to compete with Bayern Munich and you want to be able to defeat them and win the Bundesliga and actually play on their level, you have to bring in potential investors. You've got to spend the money. You've got to spend that 70 mil, that's 80 mil, that's 100 mil, 150 mil. Because again, if this 50 plus 1 rule still remains and you do not actually open yourselves up to a potential investor like Leverkusen and Wolfsburg, they can be bought out by an external investor who can now have like a 70-80% share and therefore spend as much as they want on players. You won't be able to compete with Bayern because at the end of the day, you do need quality players. And in today's world, quality players cost a lot of money. Should this framework, should this model be used in the Premier League? And if this framework were used in the Premier League, would it save it? Would it improve it? This is a difficult one to tackle, but let me tackle it from. I'm going to tackle this in many different segments, but let me start with this segment. If this was introduced, we live in a utopia. If this was introduced into the Premier League, would it help and save the Premier League? I believe save is a strong word, but I believe that it would be of benefit because I like the philosophy behind the rule. Now, the key thing is this: everybody uses this rule. Everybody uses this rule because I think Bayern Munich is a unique situation based on how big the club is and how large the club is. And so it's a very difficult one to tackle. But in theory, I love the rule because it means that the club have a say in what things are happening. It means that costs are now put back down to a realistic level. You do not have ridiculous, stupid expenditures, and you don't have an external investor coming in and literally, in my view, destroying the purity of the game. I love Abramovich. He's one of my closest friends because I love him because he's rich. But when Abramovich came in, I really, really, really did not like Abramovich's view. And I remember when this happened, and I remember saying to myself that when I was in school, that this is going to cause a domino effect. This is going to cause a domino effect that is going to pretty much kill club football, that's going to destroy club football. And what Abramovich has done has pretty much seen this knock-on effects where, you know what, guys just coming in, spending money, and more people will be coming in because they are seeing the benefit, the amazing business you can have for football. There is no more lucrative merchandise business within sports than football. It is huge business. So that is my thing in theory. But let's talk about reality. In reality, it can't happen. Sky Sports, investors, people making so much money. There are too many interests that would be offset by introducing this 50 plus 1 rule. Because again, you look at Man City right now. a lot of people benefit from that. And the people that benefit from that will not allow the forces that be, these forces that be that we do not know about, that are not, that we never see, will never allow this 50+1 rule to come in and change the game. Because again, you look at Man City, for example. How are you going to compete against one of the best coaches in the world who has an endless stream of money to buy pretty much whoever he wants? Because Guardiola has an amazing deep war chest of funds, and players are literally tripping over themselves to play with Pep. So Pep is in an incredible position. How do you compete with that? It is literally almost impossible to compete with something like that. So that is why it is very difficult to, because if you were to bring in a 50+1 rule, fully implement it, the Man City framework as it exists today can't really exist. Because again, the investors who have invested into Man City, they'll be like, wait a minute, I want more than 50%. And because that 50% are the supporters, they will have a greater sense of what happens. You look at Arsenal now, and how hard it has been from them to reach tell Stan Kroenke to get the hell out of there. But they've not been able to do that because of that 50+1 rule. But my thing is, in reality, it can't work. Because football has changed. And I keep telling this about people, that club football has changed. In my opinion, it has changed for the worse. A dude called Philippe costing over 100 million is stupid. That is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. I love Neymar. I love the transfer. I supported the transfer to over 200 million. That is absolutely ridiculous. It makes no flipping sense. It's madness. It is complete and utter madness. So when you think of it in that sense, that is why I would love the 50+1 rule to sort of come into its effects into close, because I think that is how football should be. I think that a club within itself, its supporters, its people should have at the very least 50% ownership. They should have at the very least a greater say to how their club is run. Because guys, you have to decide, is this football that we love, or is this just a business? Because again, I don't care about corporate stuff and business, because at the end of the day, if that money isn't coming to me, why the hell should I care? Why the hell should I care? So that's why we look at, with the Bundesliga specifically, that is why it's very complicated. Because I agree with the ideology, fully agree with it, but then I then say to myself, how do we create a realistic title race? How do you challenge Bayern Munich? Can you really challenge a Bayern Munich if you're still sticking to this 50+1 rule? That's the thing. But then I switch over to the Premier League, who do not have this certain rule. How do you then sort of coax and attract this investor to come and bless your club and therefore compete with the Manchester City? Because you say to yourself, wait a minute, if this is the game that we're playing, Tottenham tell Levy to get out, head to Middle East and get a dude. Flipping Everton, tell whoever's in charge to get out and go to Russia, say, look man, billionaire coming, take 99% ownership of the club, buy Neymar, buy Messi, buy Cristiano, buy Robin, buy Ramos, let us go and win this flipping Premier League and the Champions League. So, but then it doesn't work like that. You know, that's not how life works. It's not as simple and as 1 + 2 as that. But I do believe that, I respect the Bundesliga stance. I truly respect that, and I think, again, I'm not sure. Again, German guys, remind me. I think if you've got a match ticket in Germany, I believe that travel is free. So if you have a match ticket, that gives you free travel as well as entering the matches as well. I think so, hence why the Bundesliga has the best attended matches in all of Europe. So that's why I respect the Bundesliga, because I respect the fact that they don't want what, in my opinion, is poisoning club football to happen to them. Because you say to yourselves that if you win a league, spending 500, 600, 700 million, did you really earn it? That's what I'm saying. Did you really earn it? Because remember, with Bayern, let's be real right now. That's what it's. Bayern, when last did Bayern spend 600 million during a summer transfer window? When has Bayern ever spent a third of what United or City spent last summer? But it's Bayern Munich. It's one of the biggest clubs in the world. They have an amazing coaching system. They've got amazing training programs. It's Bayern flipping Munich. So, and you consider, yeah, for Bayern, look at them poaching players and so forth. For me, I told you, my beef has never really been fully with Bayern because they're not breaking any rules. I'm like, okay, well, but they're not breaking any rules. My beef is with what happened with Chelsea with Abramovich, what happened with Man City. And at the same time, remember, my beef isn't with Abramovich. My beef isn't with the sheiks who bought Man City. My beef is that was allowed to happen. That you're allowing exceedingly rich people to come in, buy a club, and literally go crazy in a transfer window and just cherry pick whoever they want. For me, I don't know. That's just because, again, once you do that, what's the point in even playing it? What's the point in Everton or people even turning up? I mean, let's say you're flipping Scunthorpe, and you're turning up and you're seeing flipping Gunnahan, Aguero, Gabriel Jesus. Yes, you're seeing the best of the best. I mean, what's the point of even playing at the flipping match? You know, where like once in 6 blue moons you'll win a game. So yeah, I do believe that. You know, I mean, I'm happy that the Bundesliga still have that framework. They still have that rule within them because, again, it shows that they care about the fans. They care about the fans, and I think what we're seeing in club football is that don't forget what funds you. Because without the fans, football doesn't exist. Okay? It's a fact. Because without the fans who pay for the merchandise, who pay for the match tickets and so forth, and actually make this a viable commercial enterprise, without the fans, it doesn't exist. So, just something to think about. That where is club football heading? Is this are people happy with how it's run? And should this? So this is a very question for you guys. Should this 50+1 rule be used en masse amongst all teams, as well as greater regulation with regards to how players are bought? So again, there is greater parity, greater competition, and people are on a much more even level playing field. Thank you for watching this video. Think about pledging and become a Half Football Hot patron. Pledge an amount each month and gain access to exclusive videos from your boy, the Football Hot, for more analysis. Peace.